What's going on, everyone? So tonight, going to do an album review, Agony and Irony by Pigpen. Pigpen, local Seattle area crossover band, so kind of punk and sludge and crust and metal and noise. And so it's a trio, Aaron on bass, Dan on drums, and Riley, the new vocalist slash distortion box guy. It's going to be a bit of a biased interview. I like these guys a lot. Got to see them a few times, talked to them. They played a fundraiser that we did not too long ago. With that being said, try to still be fair and objective. And I'll just start by saying this is not an album. It's a fight, right? It's the head of a sledgehammer being dragged across concrete. If you like albums that kind of tell a story, I think for me, when I listened to this, it was almost more of a performance in that it felt like Aaron's bass, right, aggressive and pretty nasty sounding, right, it was kind of fighting with Riley's vocals, distortion, and Dane's drums, kind of set this backdrop, right, this pacing, the atmosphere. And it's an eight song album. The first and sixth song are instrumentals, or I don't know if you can call noise instrumental. That's a good question. It's probably not a good question, but and then there's 6 vocal tracks. And for like a noise album, it's fairly long. Let's see, 2, 6, 11, 15, 18, 20. So that's like 33 minutes. It's pretty long. Last song is 7 minutes. So yeah, for me, this felt like there was a conflict. And what's cool is, for me, the album works really well together. But it just, when I listened to it, and I listened to it several times in several different settings, it really just felt like there was this tension between kind of like Riley's lyrics were like the memories of, visually speaking, for me, it was like I was listening to like somebody being pulled onto a knife, or somebody, as they come up from air from being like drowned, right? And that was like the other instruments were like these imposing violent things, and so it was kind of this like blurred line between memory and just screaming, right? So very distorted. Riley, the vocalist, is a big fan of Great Falls, if you know them, so there's probably some influence there. But it's just vocals and distortion with bass and drums, and it's a little bit more sludgy noise than the previous couple of songs I heard, which were a little bit more fast-paced. So each have their pros, cons, but I think for this album, a lot of the lyrics are kind of stream of consciousness, kind of, insofar as whatever is going on in each situation, like Riley just runs with it. So, and Dane's drums do a really good job of being very present and setting the scene, but not being overwhelming or unnecessary, right? There's not a ton of fill that didn't need to be there, right? It was what needed to be there. So, and I feel like Aaron's bass, and maybe because it stands out so well, was kind of the antagonist, or maybe the protagonist, really just giving this kind of like relentless journey, this relentless fight. So all that kind of poetic crap aside, I think the album works together really well. For the first recording from a 3-piece, and who 2 of the guys have worked together for a long time, Riley being the new guy, I think they did a really good job of delivering something noisy and kind of mean but still keeping it accessible to people who like want to check that out without being overwhelmed by something like super harsh or super mean. So, I know that there's all these balances to carry. Anyway, and I'm going a little bit slower through this because like I just gave it one final lesson, and I'm really trying to like reflect on what I heard. But yeah, so I think it's a really good album. So if you go to Bandcamp, let's see here, what is it? pigpen1.bandcamp.com/music. You'll see all their stuff. Agony and Irony is the latest release. And there's different pacings, there's different kind of elements here. For the most part, it's this driving kind of heavy, mean thing. But there's a lot of little things in there that will definitely catch you off guard. So give it a few listens on Bandcamp. Already this album been pretty well liked by a lot of other people doing reviews. I think had I not known the guys, my review would probably be a little bit different, but I think not necessarily bad. I just think I probably would have had a different interpretation of some of the things. So, I don't, if you've seen me do anything else, I don't like to do ratings. But like, I think this is worth your time, right? Let's not put a number on it. I think it's worth your time, especially if you're into this, to check it out, give it a listen. The lyrics are available, read through them. And for me, I feel like 3 to 5 listens, depending on the album, is a really good quality kind of introduction to the album. But you have your own thing. So it's worth your time, and I believe it's name your own price. Let's see here. It's name your own price, so it's definitely worth your money. And these guys are great because anytime they've made money at like these different shows or at like the fundraiser, they just donated their set. So these guys want to create something mean and nasty, and I guess something that connects with people. I don't actually know. I don't know what their goal is, but I know that I know that Agony and Irony is a really cool album. You should give it a listen, and the link will be down below. And if you are in the area, right, these guys play every now and again, so be sure to check them out. And I'll include a link of any footage of theirs I have as well. So thank you for checking this out. Again, subscribe to the channel, get notifications, and share the channel because it's about building community. And a lot of us remember what it was like during the pandemic to lose live music and to lose the interaction. So let's never get there again. Let's always stay connected in some way. Because this shit's important. So that being said, leave your comments about the album below, and I will see you next time.